Hi everyone, and welcome to another live stream. My name is Ronnie, and I'm happy to have you here. And as you remember, what we're gonna do today, and we might end up doing that almost every Sunday from now on, is this new thing that I'm trying, this idea of meditative music that I'm gonna play for you today, including some guided meditation speech, which you can use to relax yourself, to focus yourself, to let go of things that distract us and make our mind busy in our day-to-day life. So I know that if you happen to be in the United States right now, it's Sunday morning. And if you happen to be where I am right now in the world, which is in Israel, then it's 6 p.m. But whatever time it is, maybe you just want a little bit of a break from your agenda, as they say, or you're just interested in this kind of focused practice. Whether you are an experienced meditator or you're very new to meditation, this practice will be great for you. And I hope that with my music, it will give you the backdrop that you need to focus on your breathing, let your mind sometimes wander, but then when it wanders, you can bring it back to my voice and to the music. I think our lives in this day and age are full of distractions. I was just thinking about it today, how, at least I would imagine that in the somewhat distant past, when basically all your life was, either just working the land during the day, and during night it was either social gatherings or just you by yourself, you wouldn't have so many distractions. And maybe this kind of practice wasn't even that needed. But nowadays, in our modern age, it seems like everyone wants you to meditate or to do meditation or to practice meditation. And maybe you're even this sort of person who's a little bit intimidated, right, by this idea of sitting in one place or lying down in one place for a while and not really thinking about anything, not really doing anything. Maybe it even feels like a waste of time to you, right? I mean, don't feel bad if this is you, because we've all been there. But yeah, there's no wonder why people today are in a need of more focus, and this is what I'm going to try and bring to you in this practice. So what we're going to do is I'm going to play you some music, and I'm going to read you some things. Once again, this is this kind of a new format that I'm trying, and this is going to be separated into two large chunks of how this broadcast is going to work. Each chunk is going to be around 40 minutes in length, and I'm not sure about the exact time. Don't hold me to it, but you know, as long as it goes, basically, the entire thing is going to be about an hour and a half from beginning to end. And during this hour and a half, you know, yes, indeed, you can meditate. That is indeed part of it, and I will guide you through it, or you can use your own form of meditation if you want to do that. That's also fine with me. Um, I'm not going to tell you, I mean, I'm going to tell you to either sit in some place or lie down in some place, or even if you want, you can go and wander around your house. That's also fine. I don't believe there is one way to do any sort of meditation. It's mostly about teaching your mind how to focus on the present moment. And you can do a bunch of things while you're doing that, because I know that for a lot of people, including myself, by the way, it's kind of difficult to just sit in one place for a while and really not do anything. So you won't be doing nothing, you will be listening, which is a very, it's not an easy task actually. If you're really listening, it should keep your mind preoccupied. But if you want to keep your body preoccupied as well, feel free to move around. That's totally fine. Um, yeah. And then the first piece, the first half of the broadcast, are gonna be this meditation text that I wrote, and I'm gonna guide you through it. And in the second part, I'm going to take a piece of text that somebody else wrote. In this case, it was H.G. Wells more than 100 years ago. And I'm going to read it to you and play some music over it. So, and I think this kind of plays to my two, at least as far as I'm concerned in my own personal life, my two favorite types of things to listen to if I want to if I want to concentrate and focus and meditate, which is either some sort of a meditation, guided meditation text with music, of course, or just somebody speaking. Like I will a lot of times I will fall asleep with a podcast playing in the background, or some sort of a thing where somebody speaks, if they have like a pretty monotone voice, right? And if they're not like having an exciting conversation with passionate remarks and laughs, that's actually not so good for falling asleep. It's much better if the person's voice is monotone and flat and talking about things that are, could be somewhat interesting, but not specifically relating to me or to anything that I want to specifically know or listen to, just for it to sort of be in the background so I can listen to it and let my mind sort of, be occupied on something and at the same time let go. So we're going to start with a little bit of that. Oh, and also, other than the music that I'm going to play, I also have this website here that I'm going to be using today. It's called zenmix.io. And it's a website where you can just play ambient sound. So we have like nature sounds here that we're going to experiment a little bit with in the first piece. And then we also have, for the second piece, we're going to experiment a little bit with some brown noise, which is basically, if you don't know what brown noise is, it's like white noise. It's this kind of a background thing, almost like from like old television styles when you had snow on the screen when there was no reception, but much softer. And the brown noise is also more deeper in its frequencies. Anyway, you're gonna hear it. Don't worry about it. It's just going to be in the background, and also there's a lot of research nowadays that says that it's very conducive for focus. So yeah, so just one last thing before we begin. Once again, I don't believe that there is any one correct way to do this. So feel free to leave me a comment either in the chat, or if you're watching this on the rerun, you can comment on the stream. You can, you can even send me a message through my Facebook page or Instagram page and just let me know. If you want less of something, if you want more of something else, and if you're enjoying this, I would love to know that. So yeah, with that in mind, we're going to start. Yeah, and we're going to start with some natural sounds, which is always nice and calming. And this is something that if you live in a big city, you don't hear that often or at all, actually. So let's start with a stream of water. There we go. All right. Let's go. Today, we'll embark on a journey of self-discovery and inner peace. If you wish, find yourself in a comfortable position, either seated or lying down. Or if not, feel free to move around and do other things while you're listening. But keep your mind focused on my voice and the music. If you want to move around while listening, my recommendation is not to do anything that will require you to engage your mind. So I would recommend that you only do physical tasks that come automatic and natural for you, such as maybe cleaning the house or doing the dishes, or some very light exercise or stretching routines that you're already familiar with. And as we begin, allow your body to relax and your mind to be open to the experience. Whatever is going to happen in this experience, our goal is not to try to control it or direct it one way or the other. Whatever comes up, even if it's going to be uncomfortable or inconvenient for us, we can just notice it. The tendency of our mind is to try to avoid bad feelings and try to make good feelings last forever. But both of these goals are not possible. Nothing lasts forever, good or bad. And in this practice, we want to keep our mind focused on whatever is happening right now, in the present moment, however it may feel, and whatever we may think about it. Both our thoughts and and our emotions are momentary phenomena. They're fleeting. They come and go. And they do not reflect who we really are. Remember that you have thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. You have emotions, but you are not your emotions. You have a body, but you are not your body. Now take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely. Hold the breath for a moment, and then slowly release it through your mouth. Let go of any tension or stress that you may be holding to. Continue to take more breaths like this. Deep breath in through your nose as if you're smelling a wonderful flower. And then just hold the breath for a couple of seconds. And then let it go through your mouth. We are doing this to signal to our body and to our mind that it's time to focus and relax, to try and switch off all the daily distractions and sink deep into our practice. If you are lying down, try to feel how, with every breath, you sink further and further deep into whatever you are lying on. If you are seated, feel how, with every breath, your sit bones connect and become a part of whatever you are seated on. And if you are standing up and moving around, just feel how each and every breath fills your lung up even more than the previous breath. It's interesting that when people usually think about breathing, they think of their chest. But your lungs actually extend all the way to your back as well. And your deep breaths should also utilize your diaphragm. So, in effect, you really should feel like a balloon when you're breathing, filling up and expanding into all directions, 360 degrees around your body. Now continue to take a few more breaths like this. Deep through the nose, hold for a few seconds, and then release through the mouth. On your own. Continue breathing. This time letting go of controlling your breath. Let your breath teach you how it wants to go. Breathe naturally. There is no correct answer here. It can be fast, slow, deep, shallow. Whatever feels right in this particular moment. We want to just notice our breath without judgment or attempting to correct it. Just noticing how it is today. Bring your attention to the breath as it flows naturally. In and out. Observe the sensation of the air entering and leaving your nostrils, and the gentle rise and fall of your chest and abdomen. As thoughts or emotions arise, acknowledge them. Say hi to them. Introduce yourself. But don't hold on to them. Remember, you have thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. You have emotions, but you are not your emotions. If this is helpful for you, as you are breathing in, you can say the word in inside your mind. And when you are exhaling, say the word out inside your mind. And we are doing this in order to keep our minds attentive and focused on our breathing. And alternatively, instead of saying in and out, you can say sat when you're breathing, and na when you're breathing out. These are commonly used mantras in the Kundalini Yoga classes. Sat means truth, and na means your name, your essence, your being. When you are breathing in, you are absorbing reality, which is truth. And when you are exhaling, you are returning your breath all around you after it has passed your essence or being. So, stop. Now. Stop. Now. Truth is my name. Truth is my essence. And once again, only do this if it's helpful for you. Or if not, continue to focus on your breath. Feel as it comes in through your nose. Stream of air brushing lightly against your upper lip. Feel as it comes out of your mouth and through. As we continue to breathe, notice our breath. We will now do some NSPR practice. NSPR stands for non-sleep deep rest. And it is an exercise to bring our awareness into our body. And in order to do that, you can imagine that our mind is like a sort of a liquid, bright and radiant fluid with soft light emanating from it. And this light fluid is completely separate from your thoughts, emotions, and bodily desire. It is the essence of who you are and where your attention is right now. And so we are going to take this light fluid, and in our mind, we're going to pour it directly into the big toe in our left foot. So we are taking our attention and just focusing it all in the big toe of our left foot. And once again, our goal is just to take our attention there, not to try and correct or change anything. Just notice what is happening right now in the present moment with our big toe in our left foot. So just take a few moments to notice that and to bring your attention there. And from there, we're going to move on to the rest of the toes in our left foot, one by one. Second, third, fourth, fifth. And in your mind, pour your attention there. Just one toe after the other. And as you finish doing that, expand your attention to all of your 5 toes in your left foot together. And then slowly move your attention and pour it into the sole of your left foot. And stay there for a few moments in your mind. And then continue moving your attention up to your left heel. Stay there for a couple of seconds, and then expand your attention again to include your entire left foot. Next, we're going to bring our attention up. Continue to move this radiant fluid through our body. And you know what is coming next. We're going to move on to our left column. All the way up, below the knee. And just imagine this liquid of your attention just moving, sloshing through inside your calf, all the way up until it reaches your knee. left knee and leave your attention there for a little while. And when it's time to move on, keep on going up and move your attention to your left upper leg. And once again, just say hi to all these body parts. You know, just tell them hello, maybe introduce yourself. But there's no need to judge, there's no need to change anything, there's no need to correct anything. Even if you feel something which may be a little bit unpleasant, I mean, if it's very unpleasant, then you can change it by shifting your position a little bit. Do it, by all means. But the point is, there's no need to judge the current state of your body. Just be with it, and wherever it is at the moment. And we're going to continue moving up. Oh, actually, before we do that, we're going to expand our mind, expand our attention to include our entire left foot. From the big toe on the bottom all the way up to the pelvis. And just notice our entire left foot. And then we're going to move on to our pelvis, which is the source of our power. For both men and women, this is the place that is the source of our power, of our desire. This is where the sexual organs are, this is where the sexual chakras are. It is the support structure that is holding our entire body together. And we're just going to notice it. Just going to pour our attention to this light liquid and let it slosh all the way around the side of our pelvis, from the front to the back, from side to side. Just let it move around and feel however it feels at this point in time. And now we're going to take the other leg down. So we're moving to our right foot. And we're going to start in a similar place from the big toe in our right foot. Just pour our attention there. And we're going to notice it. Say hi to it. And then move our attention to the rest of our toes, one by one. Second, third, fourth, fifth. And when we're done, we can move our attention and expand it to the rest. All of the toes together. And then move on to the sole of our right foot. And then onwards to our right heel. And And once again, we're going to expand our attention here to include our entire right foot in our mind's eye. And still using this liquid, or it doesn't have to be liquid, it can be a very, almost like a gas, but that just expands into whatever space we let it expand to. Or it can even just be pure light. I mean, it's your imagination. You can do with it whatever you want to do with it. Whatever helps you, whatever feels right for you. And we're going to take this light and move it upwards to our right calf. And then our right knee. And our upper right leg. And then we can expand our attention again to include our entire right foot. From the big toe at the bottom, all the way up to the pelvis. And we're going to briefly stop once again at the pelvis just for a little bit. And I know we've already been here before, but as I said, it's our place of power. So we want to give it maybe a little more attention. Once again, there's no need to correct or fix anything. Just notice it carefully. And as we continue upwards, we're going to get to our belly. Also known as core. It's what you hold tight when you're trying to maintain a certain position. It holds your body upright. And of course, your diaphragm is there as well, which is what gives your lungs the ability to take those long, deep breaths, or any breath really, like we've done before. And we're going to continue up to our chest. Our sternum, our heart, and onwards, going up, until we get to our left shoulder. And now we're going to take a small detour. So, from our left shoulder, go down to our arm. Focus our attention there. And downward to our elbow. And our lower arm muscle all the way down until we get to our wrist. A lot of people, especially people who work a lot with their hands, or pianists, for example, right? And sometimes tend to hold a lot of tension in their wrists. So while you're here, you can tell your wrist very, very gently to relax. Or, maybe it's not even holding tension in your case, in which case you don't have to tell it to relax. Or rather not tell it, guide it. But you can also just notice it. And when we move down, we're going to get to our palm. Each and every finger. So, first finger. Second finger. Third finger. Fourth finger. And the little pinky. And now we can expand our attention and try to see in our mind's eye our entire right palm. And now we're going to quickly leave that and climb up, until we get back to where we started our teacher from, which is our left shoulder. I'm sorry, I think I said right earlier by mistake. But I was talking about the left. Never mind. If your mind was on the right, that's also fine. But now we are going to go to our right shoulder. So if previously you focused on your right hand, just know that when I say right now, I mean left, right? Okay. Left, right. The other hand, all right? So once again, starting from the shoulder, going down, your upper arm, and your elbow, your lower arm, and your wrist. Tell your wrist to relax if you feel any tension in it, or if not, just let it go. And continue down to your palm. And now we're going to continue with the fingers. So, first finger. Second finger. Third finger. Fourth finger. And the little pinky. And now we're going to expand our attention once again and focus on our entire hand. This is the right hand with you or the left. Just focus on your entire hand with your mind's eye. And the next thing is we can move up until we get back to our shoulders. And we are done with our detours for today. We can continue on to our next holds our head in place. This is actually very tricky because our head is pretty heavy with all of that, big brain that we have inside. And our neck and our spine are very, very good at keeping this head in place. We're not always thankful for that, but now we are going to be thankful to our neck for holding our head in this place. And we're going to focus on that. And move on upwards to our face. Focus on your chin, on your lower lip, on your upper lip. When you are focusing on your upper lip, you can notice that the breath is still there. Even though you haven't noticed it for about half an hour now at least, maybe, it is still there. And you can still notice it if you want. And you can still, if it helps you, repeat the mantra that I call before, Sat. Now, Sat. Is my name. Truth is my essence. And we go up from there, and we're going to focus our liquid attention on our nose, from its tip upwards to the bridge, and of course, our eyes, and our ears, moving further up to our forehead, to our crown chakra, and finally we go up above our forehead, some imaginary point in the air, just a few centimeters or inches above your head. And the next thing we're going to do is expand our attention, and we want our liquid attention to fill up our entire body. See our entire body in our mind's eye. As we near the end of our meditation, bring your awareness back to your breath. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, release any remaining tension or stress. Gently bring your attention back to this world. you are seated down or lying down, you can now wiggle your fingers and toes. Just let them move. And if you had your eyes closed up until this point, you can open them now. All right. There we go. Wow. That was, yeah, that was longer than I expected it to be, but that's cool. I hope you enjoyed this. Um, this was actually, well, for those of you who have stayed for the entire thing, you might be happy to know that this was around 45, even 50 minutes of this meditation and listening to my voice and to the music, which I think if you've lasted for the entire thing, you can really give yourself a pat on the shoulder because, you know, a lot of people say, by the way, including myself, as I said before, it's rather difficult to be in a meditative state and stay in it for long stretches of time. It's not easy at all. It looks like if you're watching people meditate and you don't know much about meditation, sometimes it looks as if they're not really doing anything. So you think, oh, this got to be easy, but it's actually very hard to keep your mind focused. And I'm sure that even if you did the entire thing, I'm sure your mind wandered a little bit here and there, and that's totally fine. Once again, this is part of the design of how our mind works, and it's bound to happen in this sort of practice. But yeah, but that was an entire thing, which I'm very happy that you joined me for. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you're gonna enjoy the next thing even more. We have about half an hour left for our next thing. And this is actually, so if you've seen my broadcast yesterday, which is I do 2 broadcasts every weekend, and lately I'm trying to do this thing where on Saturdays, which is 12 p.m. Eastern time, I do jazz, and then Sunday 11 a.m. Eastern, I do more meditative music like today. But yeah, if you remember from yesterday, we talked about chords, and I said something about how if we have a harmony, we can use it for jazz, but we can also use it for meditative music. All we need to do is just really slow it down. So this is Body and Soul that I played yesterday by John Green. So and I can really slow it down and really stretch out and be luxurious with these chords. I can just take this last chord, which we're going to get to soon. And now I'm going to read to you this text that I really like. I don't think we're going to go through all of it because it's quite long, but we're going to go through hopefully a good chunk of it before we get to the end. And this is a text by H.G. Wells, written back in 1913. So more than 100 years ago, actually. Which is kind of cool, I think, especially, when you listen to this text. It's very cool that he had these thoughts over 100 years ago. And as the title suggests, it's sort of an essay about the future and about thinking about the future, which, if you know me, this is something that I like doing. I'm very, very fascinated by the future and technological advancements. Oh, and before I forget, I wanted to do this one with a little bit of a brown noise, so let's get that going. There we go. So I hope you can hear that. If anything, if you want to change anything with the volumes of the different sounds or anything, just write it in the chat for me, and I'll see it. And then, yeah, let's just read this and enjoy. Will lead into my subject most conveniently to contrast and separate two divergent types of mind, types which are to be distinguished chiefly by their attitude toward time, and more particularly by the relative importance they attach and the relative amount of thought they give. Sorry, I seem to have a bit of an issue here with the brown noise. Yeah. Hope it doesn't continue stopping, but if it is, hope you understand. I'm gonna try to fix it for next time. Anyway, before we continue, I wanted to say about this text that it was written over 100 years ago, so some of the phrasing and the words that he's using may be a little out of date, maybe not as politically correct as our day and age requires. I mean, he mentions, things here like Oriental, but know what, I'm just gonna do it without the brown noise this time. Alright, let's continue reading. The first of these two types of mind, and it is, I think, the predominant type, the type of the majority of living people, is that which seems scarcely to think of the future at all, which regards it as sort of a blank non-existence upon which the advancing present will presently write events. The second type, which is, I think, a more modern and much less abundant type of mind, thinks constantly and by preference of things to come, and of present things mainly in relation to the results that must arise from them. The former type of mind, when one gets it in purity, is retrospective in habit. And it interprets the things of the present and gives value to this and denies it to that, entirely with relation to the past. The latter type of mind is constructive in habit. It interprets the things of the present and gives value to this or that, entirely in relation to things designed or foreseen. While from that former point of view our life is simply to reap the consequences of the past, from this our life is to prepare the future. The former type one might speak of as the legal or submissive type of mind, because the business, the practice, and the training of a lawyer dispose him towards it. He of all men must constantly refer to the law made, the light, the right establishment, the precedent set, and consistently ignore or condemn the thing that is only seeking to establish itself. The latter type of mind I might, for contrast, call the legislative, creative, organizing, or masterful type, because it is perpetually attacking and altering the established order of things, perpetually falling away from respect for what the past has given us. It sees the world as one great workshop, and the present is no more than material for the future, for the thing that is yet designed to be. It is in the active mood of thought, while the former is in the passive. It is the mind of youth. It is the mind more manifest among the Western nations. Things have been said, says the legal mind, and so we are here. The creative mind says we are here because things have yet to be. Now, I do not wish to suggest that the great mass of people belong to either of these two types. Indeed, I speak of them as two distinct and distinguishable types, mainly for convenience, and in order to accentuate their distinction. There are probably very few people who brood constantly upon the past without any thought of the future at all. And there are probably scarcely any who live and think consistently in relation to the future. The great mass of people occupy an intermediate position between these extremes. They pass daily and hourly from the passive mood to the active. They see this thing in relation to its associations, and that thing in relation to its consequences. And they do not even suspect that they are using two distinct methods in their mind. Distinct methods. The method of reference to the past and the method of reference to the future. And their mingling in many of our minds no more abolishes their difference than the existence of piebald horses proves that white is black. I believe that it is not sufficiently recognized just how different in their consequences these two methods are, and just where their difference and where the failure to appreciate their difference takes one. This present time is a period of quite extraordinary uncertainty and indecision upon endless questions. Moral questions, aesthetic questions, religious and political questions, upon which we should all of us be happier to feel assured and settled. And a very large amount of this floating uncertainty about these important matters is due to the fact that with most of us, these two insufficiently distinguished way of looking at things are not only present together, but in actual conflict in our minds, in unsuspected conflict. We pass from one to the other heedlessly, without any clear recognition of the fundamental difference in conclusions that exists between the two. disastrous results to our confidence and our consistency in dealing with all sorts of things. But before pointing out how divergent these two types of habits of mind really are, it is necessary to meet a possible objection to what has been said. That objection in this form is not this distinction between a type of mind that thinks of the past and a type of mind that thinks of the future, a sort of hair splitting, almost like distinguishing between people who have left hands and people who have right. Everybody believes that the present is entirely determined by the past, you say. But then everybody believes that the present determines the future. Are we simply separating and contrasting both sides of everybody's opinion? To which one replies that we are not discussing what we know and believe about the relations of past, present, and future, or of the relation of cause and effect to each other in time. We all know the present depends for its causes on the past, and the future depends for its causes upon the present. But this discussion concerns the way in which we approach things upon this common ground of knowledge and belief. We may all know there is an East and a West, but if some of us always approach and look at things from the West, if some of us always approach and looking at things from the East, and if others again wander about with a pretty disregard of direction, looking at things as chance determines, some of us will get to a westward conclusion of this journey, and some of us will get to an eastward conclusion, and some of us will get to no definite conclusion at all about all sorts of important matters. And yet, those who are traveling east, and those who are traveling west, and those who are wandering haphazard, may be all upon the same ground of belief and statement, and amid the same assembly of proven facts. Precisely the same thing, divergence of result, will happen if you always approach things from the point of view of their causes, or if you approach them always with a view to their probable effects. And in several very important groups of human affairs, it is possible to show quite clearly just how widely apart the two methods pursued, each in its purity. Take those who follow. I suppose that 300 years ago, all people who thought about moral questions, about questions of right and wrong, deduced the rules of conduct absolutely and unreservedly from the past, from some dogmatic injunction. some finally settled decree. The great mass of people do so today. It is written, they say, thou shalt not steal, for example. That is the sole, complete, sufficient reason why you should not steal. Even today, there is a strong aversion to admit that there is any relation between the actual consequences of the act and the imperatives of right and wrong. Our lives are to reap the fruits of determinate things, and it is still a fundamental presumption of the established morality that one must do right through the heavens fall. But there are people coming into this world who would refuse to call it right if it brought the heavens about our heads, however authoritative its sources and sanctions. And this new disposition is, I believe, a growing one. I suppose in all ages, people in a timid, hesitating, guilty way have tempered the austerity of a dogmatic moral code by small infractions to secure obviously kindly ends. But it was, I am told, the Jesuits who first deliberately sought to qualify the moral interpretation of acts by a consideration of their results. Today, there are few people who have not more or less clearly discovered the future as a more or less important factor in moral considerations. Today, there is a certain small proportion of people who frankly regard morality as a means to an end, as an overriding of immediate and personal considerations out of regard to something to be attained in the future, and who break away altogether from the idea of a code dogmatically established forever. All right. And that's it. So that was just a little bit from H.G. Wells, The Discovery of the Future. Sorry. The Discovery of the Future by H.G. Wells, written in 1913. All right. And this is pretty much the end of what I had planned for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did. It was very interesting. Also, not so easy to play and read at the same time and do all of those things together at the same time. But yeah, I'll get used to it. I have more cool things that I want to add in the future and expand on this. So, you know, um, please tune in next week. So, next week we are going to have this very special event because I am not going to be here where I am usually in my house here in Tel Aviv, in Israel, which is where I've been in all these all of the streams basically, I think, since I started it a couple of months ago. I'm gonna be in my friend's house in the city of Haifa. His name is Liav. You might have seen me posting some of his work on my page in the past because I think his work is amazing. He's a printmaker. He's a good friend and good artist that I appreciate a lot. And I'm going to be in his house. I'm going to bring my piano all the way there to his house and I'm going to set it up in his art studio. And we are going to do the same two broadcasts. On Saturday, we're going to do jazz. On Sunday, we're going to do meditative music. But while we're doing it, Liav is going to create some art as well. So you're going to be able to see see and hear me playing music, and Liav creating art with my music in the background. I don't know what he's going to make. I have no idea, but I guess we'll see. It's going to be very interesting, and I'm very excited for next week. So please join me once again, Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. That's New York time. Make your adjustments wherever you happen to be in the world. And Sunday, 11 a.m. Once again, Eastern time, New York time. Make your adjustments based on wherever you are in the world. And please follow this channel if you're not yet a follower. Follow me on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook, or in Instagram. You have the links to my Facebook and Instagram in the bottom right corner of your screen. And I'm probably going to work on the design. I hope I can work on it before next week to make it a little easier and a little clearer to get to all my links. But basically, Ellipsis Bus on Twitch and Ellipsis as well on YouTube. You should be able to get to my channel or through my Facebook or Instagram. In my bio link on the Instagram, you can find my link tree where there are links to everything that you need. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for keeping on supporting this channel while I try out new things and do cool stuff. As you know, I really want to do cool things with this channel, and I'm going to do cool things with this channel very, very soon. There's a lot of plans in the work. I know I keep mentioning it and keep teasing out, and I promise you I will tell you about all these things when the time comes, but it's not yet the time. But if you stay tuned and if you keep on with me, you will know it. You will know the time when we get to it, and you're gonna get to it very soon, and it's gonna be very exciting. So yeah. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your continued support. Please follow, share, and join me next week. And I promise I will try to get the the background noises, the brown noise thingy fixed for next week. So yeah, thank you for your support. And with that, this is Ronnie out.